Welcome back on Sun Devil Extra, brought to you by Spring Hill Suites, Phoenix Scottsdale. Final segment, we just heard from Coach Powers and Artem Schlane with hockey, special stories on both ends on how they got here. And again, it's going to be a fun time here at Mullett Arena in 2 weekends.
Can't wait, yeah. And, Artem really being a heartbeat on this team and coming in and just really establishing a tremendous leadership role. Seems to be in the mix on all the big moments that we've had and just a point score and what a great Sun Devil to add to the roster this year.
Of course, football is always a topic of conversation. I want to touch on one thing really quick. Scouting Combine just wrapped up. Turns out Cam Scadaboo can jump really well.
Yep.
And he's a lot of things.
I'm not surprised. Every chance that everybody's like, hey, that's surprising what Scat did. I'm like, well, you must not know that he's capable. He's a great broadcaster. He's kind of an impromptu guest on this show. That's a funny moment that we'll revisit for a while. But I talked to him about a week and a half ago going into the Combine. He's like, I feel good. Can't wait to just open some eyes. And I just following the coverage of the Scouting Combine was fun to see. The vertical jump, that got a lot of coverage. But, him and David Spade, Sun Devil alums. I'm like, why is David Spade at the Scouting Combine? But he was, and it's obviously a legendary Sun Devil, and good for him to be excited to meet Scat. That was a pretty cool moment. And then just the commentary, I think that really resonated on him talking about ASU being one of the best decisions in his life and his support of Coach Dillingham, knowing that this is going to be something moving forward. Exciting to hear that he's talking to the Cardinals. We've been advocating and lobbying for that in the ways that we can, that would be a great decision to keep him home in his NFL career. But again, Sun Devil for life. He talks about living in Arizona now. That's great to hear, and just really proud of what he's done, what he means to this university, and can't wait to see what he does with his next opportunities. Yeah,
he and James Conner would be a pretty nice 1-2 punch just down the road, of course. There are a ton of winter sports pushing into that stretch run for themselves and going into Big 12 tournaments. Wrestling, a big one as well. Got 3 top 8 seeds, including a number 1 and a number 2. Exciting things coming up on Saturday for the wrestling program.
Yeah, and Tulsa's a great home for the Big 12 championships. We got a chance to go there a few years ago for NCAAs, and that's a really good setup. So they're in good hands in Tulsa. excited for Richie to keep his progression going at 125. Colton, seems like Colton's been here for a decade, but holding down the heavyweight. This team's had a lot of adversity this year, a lot of injuries on wrestling. I was checking the rankings yesterday, and even though the dual meet season didn't go as planned, we're still 10th in the country going into the conference tournament and the NCAA championships in Philly in a few weeks. But Richie and Colton kind of bookend that program in some really special ways, and proud of what they're doing, and can't wait to see what they do going into the championships here this weekend in Tulsa.
Yeah, always cool to see the programs do battle against teams that you don't see a lot, especially in the Big 12 Wrestling League with so many teams that you don't expect to be in the Big 12 as well.
Right.
Another team going to a tournament, this time up in Kansas City, the women's basketball program this weekend, men's in a couple of weeks. Exciting to have that venue as another one to check off.
Yeah, flying out tomorrow to Kansas City to start the women's tournament, and then back there next week for the men's. We've got some AD meetings in Kansas City that overlap, and I had a chance to go last year, and I remember thinking, our fans are so used to Vegas. That was a great trip for the Pac-12 tournament. Obviously easy to go from Phoenix to Las Vegas, but Kansas City is a little bit further, but a very easy trip now. It's a direct flight. It's a brand new airport that does a really, really nice job there. And then the T-Mobile Center or Arena, I can't remember which one that is, but it's also a T-Mobile, ironically. There's an area right next to it, the Power and Light District, that's got great restaurants. It's got great bars, live music, some really good pop-up shops that are there. So this will be a great experience for the fans that are making the trip. And I think a lot of fans were trying to, let's go one time through, let's see what it's all about before maybe making that a new part of the March traditions. We're obviously used to Vegas, and that was a great time. But I think Kansas City is going to be an incredible host, and I'm excited to get there in support of the women's team getting going, and then back next week for the men.
And have some good barbecue, I would assume.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
Softball getting rolling, and my goodness, the slate that they had. I think they hosted 41 games, 22 teams, something like that. Puts a lot of stress on the facilities people and the grounds crew, but they did a phenomenal job being able to host the past few weekends, and now they get Big 12 play rolling with BYU this weekend.
Yeah. Thanks for mentioning that, Alex, on the support staff that makes that go. I mean, really, I think 4 weekends in a row of tournaments, and for our communications team, our digital media team, our grounds crew, our facilities team, ticket office, et cetera, we had unbelievable programs coming through Farrington in those tournaments. And so long days, a lot of hours. Josh Fisher, who does a great job in communications, has done some fun things on Twitter, recapping the madness of the softball tournaments. Yep. But really what it's led to, the work of all those people has led to a really strong start for another very important program in softball at ASU. And Coach Bartlett's got her team off to a wonderful start, feeling good, feeling healthy with established roles like we talked about for baseball as softball gets going against BYU in the Big 12. And really important to kind of have that confidence going into the conference, because we know we're going to be more battle tested, but it's exciting that you see, veteran players stepping up and Kelsey Hall and Kenzie back on the mound and everything that she's brought in. But then these freshmen that have just hit the ground running coming into the Big 12 saying like, hey, we're good. We're going to be okay. Yep. And that really gives you a lot of hope for not only the season, but moving forward, that Sun Devil softball is a destination again, and the talented softball players in the country are seeing what's happening and want to be a part of this program and being a part of what Coach Bartlett is building. Really excited about the start, and 3 ranked wins out the gate in the non-conference, and just riding high confidence going into the Big 12, and starting at home is even better. What's cool, and I do want to mention Friday night, we're going to dedicate the Devil Deck at Farrington for Jackie Vasquez-Lappin, who was on the national championships teams and then has stepped up with her husband Dave in significant ways. It's one of the largest letter winner gifts that we've ever seen in departmental history. Helped fund the new clubhouse renovations and the player amenities over at Farrington, and so we'll have a chance to celebrate Jackie and Dave Friday night. We'll have a number of softball letter winners back on campus, and just really excited for that as well. Yeah,
another big help to host that many teams as well. To go 15-5 in that stretch when 4 teams in the Big 12 haven't even hosted a game yet, including BYU, who's coming to town. You can watch those games on this weekend on ESPN Plus Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. One more thing we want to touch on. Willie Bloomquist is going to have his radio show live at a place up at Grass Clippings. It's supposed to be a great venue, and, of course, our Braiden Bell hosted with him.
Yeah, can't wait to get back to a baseball coaches show. It's been quite some time since we've done that. There were some legendary ones back in the day with Coach Murphy, and so Willie's cut from the same cloth, and I know that'll be entertaining. Grass Clippings, for those who don't know, is an unbelievable addition to Tempe here, kind of on that Mill Avenue transition from the bridge to Phoenix Municipal on the east side of the road. A lit golf course, which is absolutely genius, especially as it starts to warm up here later in the spring. And so Pete Wilson, who's become a great friend of the Sun Devils, just a brilliant concept, opened his doors to host Dugout Chatter, and can't wait to get that going here on March 12th as well.
Yeah, I can't wait to get up there and take in a show as well. Fans, of course, can join and add to the atmosphere of that as well. Graham, thanks for your time. Hope I did fine enough filling in for Braiden. Of course, we'll be back
did we just see Wally Pip? Sean, can we get some Wally Pip?
I don't know. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
We'll find out.
I'll have to give Braiden a call.
Braiden's sweating right now. You never know.
Well, that'll do it for this episode of Sun Devil Extra. Once again, as always, brought to you by Spring Hill Suites, Phoenix, Scottsdale. Graham, thanks again. Alex Coil, see you next time on Sun Devil Extra.